Breaking news. Igbo lawyers angry over slow trial of Kanu. Igbo lawyers angry over slow trial of Kanu. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. Igbo Lawyers Association has expressed disappointment over the continued detention and incarceration of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, by the Nigerian government. It said the continued detention of the IPOB leader insists instead of releasing or putting him to trial and dispensing with the case was an act of political punishment than a legal trial. Chairman of the ILA and former national legal advisor of Wadeze Indigbo Worldwide, Chief Chuks Muhammad San, told Sunday Sun that the case could be dispensed with within 7 days if the aim of Kanu abductors was to put him on trial for committing a crime against Nigeria. Kanu's predicament is more political than legal. Until it is resolved, there may not be a solution to the problem. I see an attempt by the prosecution to perpetrate proceedings inconclusively as a vendetta against him and his group, he said. He commended the IPOB leaders' legal team for doing well in contending with the tricks being exhibited by the prosecution, but lamented that the matter ought to have been dispensed of had it been followed legally as matters of similar criminal nature would. He added, I see them continuing to incarcerate and intimidate him in order to maintain their vindictive political interest to either release or convict him. Expressing the fear that he might be in detention until a new administration takes over power on May 29 next year. Muhammad said there would be disaster should Kanu get annihilated while in custody, noting that no bandit, kidnapper or those involved in terrorist activities across the country had been subjected to the sufferings being endured by the IPOB leader. Kanu is suffering because he is Igbo. No bandit, kidnapper or those engaging in terrorism in Nigeria has been subjected to what he is undergoing now. What is his crime? Asked what happens should Nigeria fail to honor the United Nations human rights body's directive that cannot be unconditionally released and compensated. The ILA leader said Buhari's administration was leading Nigeria to become a pariah state if it fails to adhere to the UN directive. Buhari's administration is not likely to release Kanu. I hope he stays alive and not liquidated in detention. Muhammad further spoke on the forthcoming general elections in the country and called on individuals at home and in the diaspora to continue to be vigilant. while going about their engagement in business, commerce, and industry, so that even if we continue to suffer that and be marginalized, we will remain prosperous commercially, industrially, and financially. Let us continue to prosper in industry, commerce, education, and finance. They will look for us. Igbo Lawyers Association, ILA, has expressed disappointment over the continued detention and incarceration of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, by the Nigerian government. It said the continued detention of the IPOB leader, instead of releasing or putting him to trial and dispensing with the case, was an act of solitary punishment than a legal trial. Chairman of ILA and former national legal advisor of Waneze Indigbo Worldwide, Chief Chuks Muhammad San, told Sunday Sun that the case could be dispensed with within 7 days if the aim of Kanu abductors was to put him on trial for committing a crime against Nigeria. Kanu's predicament is more political than legal until it is resolved. There may not be a solution to the problem. I see an attempt by the prosecution to perpetuate precedents inconclusively as a vendetta against him and his group, he said. He commended the IPOB leaders' legal team for doing well in contending with the tricks being exhibited by the prosecution, but lamented that the matter ought to have been dispensed of had it been followed legally as matters of similar criminal nature would. So my dear listeners, now I've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by.